Hey guys, welcome to Homesteading Through Our Eyes. We are on day 3 of our question and answer week, so we're going to get right to it. We have a couple questions from Rickson Johansson, sorry, said that wrong the first time. Thank you for watching and commenting and asking questions. Flowing River had already answered about the electricity and power plans and solar, so I'm going to move on to the second question. How are you bathing nowadays on the homestead? Bathing inside or outside? In the summertime, when it's warm enough, springtime, fall time, we have a little outdoor solar bag. They're really cheap. You can find them anywhere. It just heats up from the sun, and then you use that. In the wintertime, it's a little more tricky. We rely on family and friends for showering, or in bad situations, we just heat up some water on the wood stove and kind of do the old school wash, in the bucket or tub, and just use hot water and washcloth and rinse, and it takes time, but it works. And we're going to be looking for a solution for that in the wintertime sooner or later as well. So if anyone out there has any, let us know. Number 3, or number 2 for you guys. What improvements are planned for the yurt this year, especially for the winter, to deal with the cold? Whether or not it's going to happen this year is another question, but we do have a few improvements in plan for the cold. One would be to, when we put the outer wall or skirt on the yurt, it wasn't cinched up tight. We had a couple less people the second day around when we were putting it up, and we needed a few more hands to maybe hold the wall on while we did it. So we're going to go back through and make the wall a little tighter, which would close these tiny little gaps that are down near the drip edge. Another way we're going to try to insulate is by possibly making concrete, I guess I'll call them dominoes. Little slabs, squares, rectangles, and then placing them all around the bottom of the yurt where the deck really doesn't touch the ground, to try to stop any air exchange from the inside to outside. Another thing we looked at was possibly getting a bigger wood stove. We're not sure if we would need a bigger wood stove if we did do more insulation, so we're not going to worry about that too much. We're also thinking about possibly doing another layer of the Mylar bubble wrap, either on the floor or behind the skirt and on the ceiling, or a mixture of both. Another thing we might try to do is amp up the floor a little bit with some insulation board, and get some high R value insulation board and add it to what we already have. We have another question here from Christina Petro. Hi Christina, and thank you for watching. Welcome from Florida. We actually have family up right now from Florida. Cheers. Thank you for the question. And here we go. How do you protect your electronics from humidity? That is, if it gets humid there. I'm in Florida and it gets extremely humid. We're in New York. I mean, we have our humid days, but it's not always humid. We actually haven't had to deal with any sort of issues with electronics in the yurt so far. The only thing as far as humidity that we deal with is in the wintertime, really, and we have to have everything shut down a little tighter, and water actually builds up on the doors. So that's the only issue with humidity. Even when the water, sorry, bugs are kind of grabbing me. Even with the water collecting on the windows of the yurt. It still doesn't get humid inside the yurt just because of the dry heat from the wood stove. It's actually pretty dry in there unless we do some boiling water for cooking even. Tea doesn't even really get the yurt too humid. So thank you for your question. That concludes our third day of question asking and question answering. Keep with the questions. If you have any other questions, comments, write them in the spot below. And we'll be back to answer 3 more questions tomorrow. So as I said earlier, thank you all for asking the questions, and we look forward to hearing from you in the future. Thanks. Have a nice day. Check you soon. Peace.